The first quarter of the 2025 season is in the books. Which rookies are standing out? We're giving our rookie report card today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app.
Joe, happy Wednesday, October 1st to you. And on this day, we're looking at rookies, and we accordingly and fittingly are celebrating the 41st name.
Oh, boy.
On the back of the Cleveland Browns search for franchise QB jersey, where it's all the nameplates, as it's been announced that the Browns are going with rookie Dillon Gabriel for his first career start in Week 5.
Against Brian Flores and the Minnesota Vikings.
Good luck. Well, to be fair, could you pick a worse situation than a statuesque quarterback to play a Brian Flores defense?
It'd be a problem. It'd be a problem. Doesn't matter how many of those blitzes Joe Flacco's seen. Dillon Gabriel can move a little bit. 3 of 4 for 19 yards and a touchdown so far this year, Dillon Gabriel.
And gets his first start and will not be a part of the report card series that we're doing right now because, as you mentioned, just a handful. But we do have names written down for this NFL draft class at pretty much every position. And our objective is just kind of work through position by position some of the big takeaways that we have from the first quarter of the season for the 2025 NFL draft class.
What can we really say about Cam Ward?
He's in a bad situation.
Yeah. He's skilled. He's working his butt off. It's a tough spot for him. It's an incomplete evaluation. I don't really know what to think. I mean, there's been some of Cam Ward's tendencies that you really liked, some that you didn't, that have been a problem, but it's really hard to isolate that variable of Cam Ward and give him an honest assessment. I think it's good that he's getting playing time.
So what makes me, I want to say, what I'm evaluating is how right you and I were in evaluating the situation that he was in. Right?
Yeah.
When you consider we do this every summer, we look at coaching, the quarterback room, the pass catchers, the offensive line, the run game, and the defense at their disposal. And we looked at it for rookies and then like their second-year opportunity and their third-year opportunity as quarterbacks drafted since 2021. Cam Ward, for you, Joe, was in the 6th worst situation of a first, second, or third-year quarterback drafted in the first round to be a starter since 2021. And he was also my 6th worst situation.
Yeah.
So I think we properly assess the challenges, but I think it's still probably worse than we thought it would be.
Obviously, Jackson Dart just one start. They won the game. I think he probably gave that team a bit of a jolt. Did some good things with his legs, but we got more to learn about Jackson Dart.
And the hard part there is now without Neighbors, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Now we're going to figure out about Jackson Dart without the guy that you would lean on to probably throw the ball 12 times a game to.
Yeah. It's cool to see Ashton Jeanty and Marion Hampton both had really big games last week. And what's interesting is kind of foiling the situations that they're in. Ashton Jeanty is not getting much help in terms of that offensive line and movement and a lot of yards after contact, a lot of very few yards before contact. it's kind of cool to see him get cooking this past week. I think the offensive line's kind of let him down, and Hampton, I think, found some explosive plays as well. He's catching some passes. So you can kind of feel maybe those two players becoming what they were drafted to be here as the end of the first quarter has come to us.
Do you mean it was maybe a little premature for us to say Ashton Jeanty has no juice and is not it after 3 games?
Yeah, pretty obviously that was a silly thought.
275 yards after contact for Ashton Jeanty, 288 rushing yards on the season.
Yeah,
so
tells the story, right?
We're like, it's like we're playing Penn State at Boise State every week.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
what it's like.
Yeah.
And I think that Raiders offensive line has been a massive disappointment.
No doubt.
And, you could feel the Pete Carroll group there trying to light a fire under Jackson Powers Johnson, and they're favoring Jordan Meredith at center. And Raiders fans are all kinds of in a tizzy about that. Now Colton Miller not only has a high ankle sprain, there's actually a fracture there, I believe. So he's going to go on IR at tackle. It's tough, man. And then Gino's not playing well either. So none of the chemistry around Jeanty, I think, has manifested the way that you hoped that it would. And that makes it really tough as a back. And that's the downside to a running back in the first round, right? Is the conversation is, well, how dependent are you on the other 10 guys to feel your impact on a consistent basis? And it's been that way for Ashton Jeanty.
Quinshon Judkins got his situation figured out, and they said, we don't care that you haven't done a thing with us throughout the offseason. Here it is. You are going to pound the rock. And so credit to him, man. He's been able to come in averaging almost 5 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns in 3 games on a bad offense without any practice. An offensive line injuries and problems there as well. I'm pretty impressed. I know you were pretty high on Judkins coming in, so you probably feel good about that one.
Yeah, it was one of my top 3 backs. It was Jeanty, Travion Henderson, and Quinshon Judkins were my top 3 backs. And he's average, or he has done well from a volume perspective. You want to know what my favorite stat is of these 2 players, though, that we just got done talking about, is Ashton Jeanty and Quinshon Judkins. You know what the missed tackle rate is for both these guys? How many forced missed tackles these guys have?
I'm guessing pretty healthy amount.
All right, so Judkins is averaging about 3 a game. It's been 2-2 and then 4 against Baltimore, Green Bay, and Detroit. And those are tough assignments, right?
Good defenses, yeah.
Those good defenses. Now, Baltimore, maybe not so much.
Not so much. The other ones, yeah.
But you know how many missed tackles? 8 missed tackles in 3 games. You know how many missed tackles Ashton Jeanty's forced in 4 games?
I do.
22.
22. Yeah, it's a lot.
Astronomical amount of labor that's being put into getting sufficient gains. But I think Judkins deserves an acknowledgement for the production that he's been able to create thus far, especially in that Browns offense where there has not been a lot of production elsewhere.
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay.
That we only do offensive rookies today because I don't want to.
Oh,
we're like 4 players into this thing. Thinking that we're gonna get we'll do defense next week. I don't want to rush this because we're having some good conversation. I want to get into some more.
So, do you want me to? On the first ad break, I'm going to go change the background.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll go slow talking about our friends over at Mazda.
Great. So, what do you want to get into a few pass catchers? Do you want to get more running backs in? Like.
Just a quick shot on some other running backs because I think those 3 guys have become feature players, but you can feel it coming forward for Bill Krosky-Merritt, Travion Henderson, RJ Harvey, Woody Marks, Cam Scatabo. You can kind of feel like those opportunities are going to start to come for those guys, outside of the big 3.
Doesn't it always the Bill Krosky-Merritt one's always there's that player every year, right? And he's been a productive player, but it's just been the workload has been he's got 29 attempts through 4 games, right? And some of that is the first week with Eckler. So you understand that that's a piece of the puzzle. You contrast that to Jeanty and Judkins. I mean, Judkins has played 3 games. He's got 50 attempts, really. Yeah. Jeanty's got 68 attempts. So You just never know with those young guys. And Ollie Gordon's been promising. Now, he didn't have the most productive game in week 4, but he had a great showing in week 3 and had an awesome preseason. Like, it's those late round preseason darlings. You just never know which ones are really going to actually catch fire and hit it from the jump. And then which ones are like, hey, we see it. We know it's there. How long would you play the waiting game before it kind of materializes?
Bill Crosby Merritt. He's got 29 rushing attempts. That leads Washington. And, they lose Eckler early, but then, they've got some big plays out of McNichols. Chris Rodriguez factors in. And so he's commanding a good workload, but I think that there's, multiple guys that they want to get the ball to. So.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll shift our attention to receivers, tight ends. Of course, we'll get to offensive line as well. So, folks, be sure to stick with us. Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride. With more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than anyone else. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details, and Mazda brings this same intention to how we craft every model. You can feel the craftsmanship in every detail. From the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery, you can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. And I love this. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. Nicely done, Kyle Crabbs.
I was on my game.
Nicely done.
So our background on YouTube has been changed discreetly, and we're ready to roll with wide receivers and tight ends here in segment 2, unless you have any final thoughts on anybody else.
No, I'm excited to see how some of these other guys that are stepping up, like Woody Marks. It feels like he's getting ready to really get some opportunity in Houston. But speaking of opportunity, how about Tyler Warren at tight end? He leads the NFL tight ends in catches so far.
All NFL rookies, regardless of position.
In catches, he's got the most yards amongst all NFL tight ends, receiving yards. And, of course, the one rushing touchdown this past week. He looks like a nice mismatch player.
Yeah. Well, since you're going tight end, I would shout out of the top 5 rookies in targets through the first 4 weeks, 2 of them are tight ends. It's Tyler Warren, who has 27 targets, which is 7 less than Tet McMillan as the number 1 targeted rookie thus far. And Tyler is 19. He's catching 70% of his targets, 19 catches, 263, has not found the end zone yet, but that's just a matter of time. And I think the cool thing about Tyler, Joe, is all the different ways that they use him, all the ways they line him up. They're offensive backfield reps, and the routes he's running from the backfield with run action is a really great example of a player with versatility that a coach has a plan for and puts it into motion. And the other tight end that's been highly featured thus far is Harold Fannin with the Browns. And that I know he was a bit more of a polarizing player, where Tyler was a little bit more of a consensus top prospect. And it's been cool to see Fannin find his individual role. Maybe not the prolific player he was at Bowling Green, but he's also going from playing at Bowling Green to playing in the NFL level.
I might have to take an L on Harold Fannin. He was a not-for-me prospect because I thought just athletically he was such a strange mover. But obviously for him to come in and get the opportunity that he's getting is pretty cool, man. And what do you make of Colson Loveland at this point? Only 3 catches in 3 games. I know there's been an injury. I think they're still sorting some things out, but I was hoping for a little more there.
Yeah, I think especially that conversation gets further amplified by what Tyler Warren has done as the player that goes behind him. That was kind of the 1A to the 1B for a lot of people. And for the Bears to have their first choice and go with Loveland, that conversation's never going to go away. We've seen it with a bunch of different positions, with guys that are in the same class. One guy's a rookie phenom and producing at a super high level. And if you had a choice of the two and you picked the other guy, until that other guy becomes a phenom of his own. And sometimes even then, if the production like eventually catches up, it will still be, yeah, but, and like, I hope that doesn't happen with Loveland, but to your point, 6 targets and 3 catches through 4 games is certainly not what the Bears had in mind when they made him kind of the marquee toy for Ben Johnson coming out of this draft.
I have to take a selfish moment here and talk a little Jackson Hawes, man, rookie tight ends.
Either you were going to bring him up or I was.
Have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, he's a blocking tight end, and he's very quickly been regarded as a premier player at blocking and what it's meant for this Bills run scheme that's been really good. I mean, number 1 EPA rush offense in the league, and they're running 12 and 13, and Hawes is on the field, man, and they're pulling him. He's getting out in space. He's rooting out defensive ends. He's caught 4 passes as well, and some huge catches as well. I mean, the seam catch that he had against Baltimore, they probably don't win the game if he doesn't catch that one. You knew he was a good blocker. That's not hard to watch his tape and realize he's a good blocking tight end. But for that to apply so quickly, and for him to be the technician with power and also making some contributions catching the football has been a really big part of kind of the Bills' offensive start this year.
We're going to look back on day 3 of the 2025 NFL draft, and Jackson Hawes is going to eventually be regarded widely as one of the most underdrafted players in this draft. Because if this is the floor, remember, right? Games. Like we had time in the Ivy League, and then we transfer. We have 1 year at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
1 year at Georgia Tech has become this through 4 games. He's kicking people's ass. Like, we have family-friendly program, so that's as deep into it as I can get. He is mauling people. He looks outstanding. And I think he's athletic enough to be a traditional Y and like continue to flesh out the passing game profile. And then with a quarterback like Josh and what he can do outside of structure, like that's how he had that touchdown against Miami, right? Is just kind of like the play gets strung out and you're there, and there's going to be more opportunities for plays for a guy like that who executes his initial assignment and then just find space, and he's going to find you. And it's awesome. Awesome player.
They had a nice rollout pass to him against the Saints last week where he's able to get like 15 yards because, he blocks for a second and leak into space. Like I think you make a good point. It's like, just be there. Find a little space and Josh will get it to you from time to time. But 40% of snaps blocking, this guy's killing dudes, man. It's been fun.
You're not going to beat Tyler Warren from a volume perspective, but you don't. A lot of times you don't need to be. If you get 45 targets and you catch 30, 35 of them, and you get 400, 450 yards, and you get 5-6 touchdowns every year, hey, that Dalton Kincaid bold bet doubles career best in touchdowns looking pretty good.
He's doing well.
He's doing good.
You might be wanting to play a little more. He only played like 22 snaps last game,
Well, you got Jackson Hawes in the way.
I know. But they're playing these tight ends. Bills do a little different than everyone. If you want to watch a unique offense, study the Bills. It's different.
Wide receivers, or do you want to mention Elijah Arroyo real quick?
Yeah, I think there's been some fun parts there. Yeah, Mason Taylor's seems like he's ramping up a little. Rondé Gadsden's had some flashes as well. So
they seem like that coaching staff sounds high on him. It seems like they like him.
Yeah, and don't you kind of love that about the Chargers? Like when they like a player, boy, they let you know. It's like what they've said about Herbert and Derwin James. I think Harbaugh said he's like the greatest safety that's ever played the game. They love McConkey. I mean, it's cool. I love how they hype up their guys. It's actually pretty awesome. All right, so we go receivers and O-line here the whole rest of the way.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much. We might have to do another show for just offensive linemen too. I don't know.
Well, I can assure you of one thing: Emeka Egbuka will be discussed here on the other side of it. Folks, be sure to stick with us. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer that you do not want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and you'll get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love how FanDuel gives me so many different ways to play. I've built parlays, I've tried player props, and even followed the live lines during games. It makes watching football even more exciting when you got a little something riding on the game. So whether you're a casual fan or love diving into stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. I look forward to our show tomorrow where we are going to predict all the games. We'll give you the lines, and I always like to take those conversations and turn them into some bets. I had a couple of money line wins last week, so we'll see what we can muster up this week. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today to get started. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Monarch makes it simple to review your finances with your partner so you can both see budgets, goals, and spending activity in one place. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNFL.
All right. Emeka Egbuka.
Wide receiver 1, right, Kyle Crabbs?
Did I have him wide receiver 1? I don't remember.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
did
you did. Yeah.
I know I had a couple guys I liked a lot.
Yeah.
2025. I can pull it up.
You did. I know you did.
One of the, I think, not even best rookie wide receivers. In the first month of the season, he's been one of the best wide receivers in football, in my opinion. Yes, Emeka Egbuka, I did have wide receiver 1.
So crazy clutch catches, and one that should have been a catch that they didn't call a couple weeks ago.
The production would have even been better against the Jets.
Missed a big catch he made. It's definitely a catch. He's been awesome.
And I want to use him as the poster child for the draft good players concept, right? It's been a phrase. You hear it often. You hear it at a number of different places. But when the Bucs drafted Emeka Egbuka, did anybody say, man, they really needed a wide receiver?
Oh, nobody thought that. Jalen McMillan and Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. And yeah,
right. They had bodies, and they had a young guy who was emerging to go with those two players. But if a guy's just like, man, he's our guy. He fits what we want to do. We're really excited about it. Make the pick. I think one thing that, as I reflect on from a draft perspective, that was the Bills thing with Josh Allen, right? He was very clearly their guy. It was not the popular pick.
Oh, I always wanted him. Yeah.
I want to give – I aspire to give teams more grace when they go outside of what the conventions suggest. And sometimes those really don't work out. But when they do, they work out like this, right? And that's, I think, the reinforcement for, it's a player I liked, and he goes to a place that maybe didn't necessarily need him. The vision, they have a vision, boom, you get this kind of production off the jump, and it's been impressive.
Tetz made plays, right? Obviously, we knew he'd get a lot of targets. I think there's been some good elements there. Elik Yomenor, as not necessarily a high pick.
Imagine being surprised that he's a good player.
He's a dog, man. This is a good player on tape. Kind of feels like Matthew Golden is getting there. What do you think of Travis Hunter? Like, it's been 4 weeks of the season. This is one of the most interesting players to ever enter the NFL. They trade up for him. They give up their first round pick next year. And like, where are we at? And obviously his career's not defined by 4 games, but are you feeling better, worse, the same about Travis Hunter as of now?
I think I probably feel, I don't want to say the same. I'm not concerned in any way, shape, or form, but this is the downside to putting this much on a player's plate from the jump. Like, you could see that the talent is very obvious.
Right. Yeah.
And you see impact plays, but your impact has not been maximized in some ways, because immediately you've been given 101 snaps on defense through 4 weeks, and you've been given 159 snaps on offense. So you played 260 snaps thus far this season, split between offense and defense, and it has not really allowed you to settle fully into either spot.
I kind of like him on defense, but
yes, I've always you could go back to this time last year, and you could be a good wide receiver, but man, you could be an elite corner in the NFL.
They might have 18 takeaways in 4 games as opposed to just 14,
Yeah. Get an extra. I mean, what, he played 9 defensive snaps against the 49ers last week?
Which is way down because with the previous 2 weeks, he was over 40 snaps of defense.
Yeah, it was 6 snaps on defense against the Panthers, 43, 43, and then 9 this past week.
I just feel like these roles in the NFL are so nuanced and they're so specialized. And it's hard to sustain high-level play in the National Football League. And I think it's going to be really difficult for him to be super impactful on either side. And would you rather be like okay on both sides or be great on one side? I think he could be great on one side.
I'd rather give him all his snaps on defense and then give him 10 snaps a game on offense with
Why does that seem so obvious to, I don't know, you and me, but maybe not to Jacksonville?
Well, and to be fair, I mean, sitting at 3-1.
I know they're pushing a lot of great buttons. I get it.
Yep. So we'll see how it sustains. But I think with the buzz, everybody had a certain level of expectation because the buzz, and we haven't got it. And that's the reality of the situation that you're putting him in with how much you're charging him with doing.
Big uglies?
Big uglies.
There's not a single rookie that's taken a snap at center so far this year.
You thought it would maybe be Jared Wilson, but he ended up playing
guard. Yeah, he's playing left guard
for the Patriots.
Right. Yeah, we missed last week, right? Ben Brown stepped in, but yeah, that's a good call out. And a couple of the other ones, like whatever other Georgia player, Fairchild and Ratledge, that you thought could play center.
Right. Ratledge was penciled to do it, and they were like,
right. He's playing
never
right
mind.
guard.
We're going to do it with Graham Glasgow and not ask the rookie to have all this responsibility on his play. And it's worked out well. I think he's been one of the better offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Through the first 4 weeks.
So I kind of went and did some inventory. These are the players that I think are like actually starting as rookies on the offensive line. So at left tackle, you have Kelvin Banks with the Saints, Josh Simmons with the Chiefs, Will Campbell with the Patriots, Ariante Ursary with Texans. At left guard, you got a bunch. Gray Zabel, Dylan Fairchild in Cincinnati, Jonah Savaiinaea, Jared Wilson, Connor Colby started the last 2 games for San Francisco.
It's very
pick out of Iowa.
Very obvious with that wide zone system in Iowa.
Kind of guy for that.
He went there and it's like, he's probably going to start some games.
Donovan Jackson as well for the Vikings. None at center. Tate Ratledge and Tyler Booker at right guard, and Josh Connerly and Armand Membu at right tackle. Those are like your rookie starting offensive line.
The best player out of that entire collection is blank. Thus far, through 4 games, the best performing player is who?
That's a loaded question. I wish I have seen more of all of them to truly know.
It's Membu.
You think so, man? I didn't love him against the Bills, but he's awesome. Good in the run game.
I mean, their whole offensive line is kind of a train wreck in pass pro, but and because they don't know how to sort it, but their ability to run and his gravitational pull in the run game, I think, puts him highest for me.
That has been a good part of it. I think there's a lot of them that have held their head above water, which I think is pretty good thing to say. Like I think Simmons has. Boy, that play that he made on the interception was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I think Will Campbell's held his head above water at right
in 30.
Yeah. I think Tate Ratledge has held it. Tyler Booker looks kind of like exactly the player you thought he would be.
Zabel,
better or worse. Yeah.
Is there any question Jonah Savaiinaea is the most disappointing?
Yeah, I really liked him coming out. I don't think
Likewise.
The book is written there.
No, I don't think so either. But I mean, it's been egregiously bad in pass protection. The run game stuff is better. It's still up and down, but the pass pro has been horrific through 4 weeks.
It's been. What do you point to there?
Well, he's never played left guard.
Yeah,
He never
right
played
side
left
player
guard in college.
Yeah.
Now, he played left tackle for like 400 snaps, but he's never played inside on the left side. And it's been a while. So he's also got a first-year starter next to him in Patrick Paul.
Kind of looks good, Patrick Paul, to me.
Patrick Paul looks amazing.
Yeah.
And maybe next week we'll do the second year report card.
That's a Patrick Paul.
Do the Patrick Paul show. And I did not like Patrick Paul coming out. And I did like Jonah. And like their performances are inverse of what I thought for both of those guys. I mean, dude, Jonah Savaiinaea has given up 13 hurries in 4 games, 14 pressures. Just doesn't he's trying to take short sets and be aggressive, but he's stopping his feet and his timing's not synced up.
Yeah,
so I think some of it's compounded by like how their passing offense is engineered to work and getting hands and being really aggressive with your early sets, but that happening inside. And it's just causing a lot of guys to kind of run through the strike zone, and he's not offsetting momentum. And then there's early pressures and early L's because of how aggressive he's being asked to be out of his stance.
Yeah, I think he just needs to play. I think he's going to be all right. He's got to play.
I would also put Josh Connerly on the underwhelmed list.
He's playing right tackle.
You want to give him grace because he's playing right tackle. I don't think he has any business playing right tackle.
Right.
It's very apparent at the Senior Bowl when he got ran over by Mike Green. It was a different world playing at right tackle.
Quick shout out to the rookie kickers, Tyler Loop, Ryan Fitzgerald, Carolina. Tyler Loop, he actually made a big mistake on kickoff and missed an extra point against the Bills, but otherwise he's made everything. Borregales was bad early, kind of found himself a little bit.
Well, yeah, he had 2 missed extra points against the Dolphins.
Yeah. Damn near cost him the game, but he's been pretty consistent otherwise. Ryan Fitzgerald in Carolina, 6 of 7 on extra points, 5 of 6 on field goals. So
I'm glad you had the kickers ready to go. I did not have
ready to go, man.
Any prep on kickers. So
you know me, the Bills. We're on our 3rd punter and 2nd kicker in 4 games. So I'm in on the special as always.
Stonehouse out there, man.
They went with Mitch Wishnowski. So
it's a funny subsection of rosters, right? It's like guy could be a really good player and then he disappears and he doesn't play well and then he kicks well again and then
it's like what's really going on,
right?
Kickers and punters.
All right. Listen, that's going to do it for us here today on the show. Kyle Crabbs, Joe Marino, we appreciate you guys as always for checking out the show. We hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back again tomorrow to get you ready for week 5 already. It is flying by. 4 weeks in the books. Week 5 starts tomorrow. We're previewing all the games. We hope to see you then.